top 48. Loser is going home for the tournament.
Yes, this is double elimination, and actually our runners are underway. So while
Here
we're
we go.
in the less interesting part of the world, let's just say mcill calls himself the dirty strat skipper.
Ooh.
Prides himself on not going for some of the more finicky stuff like lava fly, and other things that can make you lose a minute if you fail them. MT known for having a pretty strong early game and kind of a weaker late game, so we'll see how that plays out.
Do you feel that's just from lack of, like, he just hasn't grinded the second half as much? I know that's a little bit for me, at least, that I just haven't put as much time into learning the second half. Do you feel that's the case, or do you think he just adapts better to the first part of the game?
Probably more so the fact that he hasn't practiced it as much. I know he is among many people who came back to the game for this tournament. His last PB was over 6 months ago before this 45. And you were talking about the World 1 Infinite earlier. That leads a lot of runners in general to just putting in a lot less time to the end of the game than the beginning of it.
Right. Yeah, I imagine for a lot of these runners, they're seeing more of Worlds 4 through 6 than they've seen in maybe months of playing this game. It does look like, to note, Empty able to get the Luckjaw strat right there. That's about, I think they say, like a 4-frame window or so.
Yeah, it's really small. I'm not sure the exact frame window, but it's pretty precise. Able to gain a little time on mcill there, who didn't get it.
Yeah, it does look like right now, just looking at the splits, looks like, let's see here, mcill finishing up hitting the goal at 143, and let's see, yeah, so Empty going into the boss with about a 3 to 4 second lead, but the Crow, as we know, can change all of that right here. You have to bop this guy with 4 eggs. The first 2 will always be the same, and your goal is to push him closer to his nest with every hit. Looks like able to get that on the first 2 hits. Unfortunately, Empty losing his Dixie. That's going to cost him a lot of time, unfortunately.
Yeah, not only is it longer to fight this part as Diddy, but starting the next stage as Diddy loses a lot of time because you're supposed to have both Kongs. That was fancy right there, the bouncing up and down.
Looks like he was able to, despite the bad luck there. Oh no, that's only the first non-fake. Okay, it doesn't look like he only had a few fakes there. All right.
So we're gonna see.
It looks like.
Yeah, we're gonna see on the kill screen why you want to have both Kongs. It's because you need to do this team throw up to the work barrel.
Yeah, without that, we ran into that same situation in the last race. I know with you, I believe you lost Dixie as well.
I did.
I wasn't sure how possible it was with the IDs to actually still get this wrong, Ward.
It's very possible. You just have to know it, and it actually looks like Empty does know. Oh, but the chest goes into the lava. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Could he have actually set it back up and come, because the chest reloaded?
Maybe.
I wonder if
the clobber was chasing him, so I honestly don't know.
Yeah, if he had, like, set it down. I know you can do that, like, in Chain Link Chamber. Regardless of what it is, he abandoned it. He had to keep going. That is why that losing Dixie there is, like, debatably one of those strats. You talk about strat skipping. It's about a half second each time. Now, I don't know if he lost Dixie on the first 2 hits, where you're trying to bop the egg from below, or if it was on one of the fakes, he just messed up right there. But kind of a somewhat high risk and a low reward kind of example right there. So very unfortunate for him either way. But again, we're only here in World 2. The run has barely begun. Probably opening up, I would guess, about a 25-second lead there for mcill right now.
Yeah, that seems like a decent estimate to me as well. It's funny that you say it. You know, we're only less than 5 minutes into the run, yet we've done so many levels. It's so funny that after World 4, you're only about halfway done with the run.
Right, even though World 7's a level and a boss, you got Worlds 5 and 6, World 5 actually being a shorter world, yeah. In terms of time, there's just so much more involvement in the final 3 worlds for some reason.
Absolutely. We'll see mcill already skipping the first strat of Cleaver.
Yeah, that's one that killed your opponent in the last race, Cryptek. It can be annoying when it goes wrong, so
Yeah,
Probably
for
not the
sure.
worst one. Now, do you feel like he is strat skipping just for the tournament, or do you feel like he generally does that in his RTA attempts?
He generally does it in his RTA attempts. You can actually see, if you're watching mcill's stream, he has the completed run counter, and his percentage of completed runs is much higher than the average of the community.
Wow. Ooh, he pulls a empty, losing Dixie right there. This could be scary. It doesn't have to be a huge time loss as long as he doesn't die right here.
The hardest bit about this is just knowing how to throw. He takes it a little safe, you saw. You can try to jump right into him for the quick hit, but that's really scary. It's an easy way to die.
Ooh, empty. Oh, empty going for
It's
lava
okay, it's okay.
fly, but yeah, pretty much evened it out, unfortunately, after nailing it. That's a little unfortunate. Missing the cannonball, but got another one pretty much right away. So might have still saved about a second with lava fly. Lava fly saving about 4 seconds. We are into the more meaty part of the run, though, for mcill at least. Moving on to World 3, he is on Ramby. Let's see his charges go up. I was just talking to Puexel about it in his chat. I feel like 3-1 has been sort of a sneaky level this tournament where, I mean, I would think you would agree, it's a relatively simple platforming level in the grand scheme of the game, but it's actually killed quite a few players, I feel like.
I feel like a lot of people are just sleeping on it. I think like people are just not putting in the practice that they might need to, even if they don't realize it.
Sure. I know, this is a level, I get to this world, I'm thinking about Crackhead, thinking about Slime Climb, I'm even thinking about Rattle Battle, or even Bramble Blast. I'm not thinking about this level when I come to practice this world.
Same.
It looks like, yeah, he is able to get, again, if you guys ever want to know if a player is going to make that or not, Puexel told me, make sure they get the banana to the bottom right of the G, and you will, I assume, always make it. Maybe there's a pixel, I don't know.
There's anecdotal evidence that there is a pixel. I haven't seen it personally.
Ugh, that's terrifying me now. Well,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna hope I never hit that pixel.
We'll call it 99 times out of 100. You'll make it if you hit that banana.
Right.
Meanwhile, mcill onto Glimmers. Basically, every time you see him hit a corner, he's losing time. This is not a scary stage to lose major amounts of time in, but you can easily kind of bleed out up to 10 seconds if you're not careful.
I was gonna say, have you ever timed yourself compared to some of the other like a top runner's Glimmers and seen like roughly how much time you're losing?
I lose on average about 5 seconds.
Right. Which is a sneak. I mean, you would think probably a lot of people, if you're not a runner of the game, would watch it. Maybe even if you are like a beginning runner, and you'd say, no, there's no way. Maybe you're losing like a second or two. Every time you think you're going at full speed and then you just bonk up against a corner, it really does. Like, it takes a little while to start back up. So,
yeah, especially the little crevices that you can get caught in. The crevices that you can get caught in are terrible. You can easily lose up to 4 seconds just trying to navigate your way out of there.
Those look like mcill with solid movement overall is out of Glimmers. Empty needing to make up a little bit of time, but didn't dig a huge hole for himself. Obviously, we still have a lot of race to go.
Absolutely.
Was able to play a certain level of damage control with some of the problems that happened to him, especially on some of the bosses. So here we are into Crackhead, the first truly difficult platforming stage of all. It'll be interesting, like you say, to see what kind of strats that mcill's going to be using throughout this level.
Yeah, some of the strats are very consistent once you get them down. Others are just not worth going for in a race at all.
Yeah, there's particularly like any rolling on top of these crockheads. Potentially, obviously, like can save you little like quarters of seconds and half seconds. Can also kill you. So he is going for quite a few of kind of the intermediate strats, at least that I know of, learning the game myself.
Yeah, for example, the rolling he did with the alternating crockheads and flitters, I don't go for that because I just die to it randomly. And maybe if I put in more practice, I would be more consistent at it, of course. But in a race, I wouldn't want to risk it. Goes for very safe strats at the end, though.
Yeah, it looks like he's jumping on every single crockhead, just saying, you know what? I'm not going to win this race from crockhead, but I could lose it. So sitting here, probably knowing his opponent a little bit, knowing he's at an advantage. He's got a 2-minute PB advantage on him. I will say, looking at it, it does look like Empty made up at least a little bit of time there. Maybe a few seconds. Not too far behind right now. And here we are into Rattle Battle. This is certainly a level. The way I always described it in the tournament, it felt like it's more so questioning, like, your skill is seen with how you deal when things go wrong. Ooh.
I agree. Yeah,
mcill falling into a pit right there. Not a bottomless one, so he's able to recover. Somewhat balanced out by Empty taking a hit himself.
Right, there's lots of ways to navigate these small clusters of enemies. Obviously, some of them are more optimal than others. But if at any point you take damage, there's a real flow to this level that very easily gets thrown off. And if you're not able to easily recover from that, you have a very high chance of dying.
And what makes it the hardest is that, it's well documented that the hitboxes in this level are absolute garbage. It's easy to just, not be sure of yourself once you drop down to one Kong. It's a level otherwise you can kind of sleepwalk through, but once you take that damage, I find it makes it terrifying.
Especially after
here we are
the last...
in the Slime Climb Wrong Warp.
Yes, absolutely. I was just going to say, especially after getting that last DK barrel. We're going to see if mcill gets it. Looks good to me. And he gets it. Very nice.
Yep, looks like the IDs. Okay, you're a little bit ahead of me then. Let me go ahead and pause. I think I had some buffering back there for him. You were like, he got it. I'm like, oh, I'm checking IDs right now, dude. Oh, yeah, he's in Bramble Blast. Okay, yeah, we're blasting along right here. Always good to note that each of these instant blasts, of which there are 6 of in this level, good, both of them were able to hit the Slime Climb Wrong Warp. Unfortunately, loses Dixie right there. That doesn't have to be a big time loss for mcill right there. It's just going to cut out a damage boost that he would be using later on.
Right, he wants to have Diddy in front anyway for the last part of the level, so not a huge deal. Yeah, you see he has to take this intended route instead of jumping through the B there.
So coming up, okay, now I know you're saying he's a dirty strat skipper. Is he going to be skipping the Vine Clip right here?
No, this is actually his most recent addition. Oh, but he misses it anyway, and I think that's proper.
Yeah, as long as Vine Clip seems like the kind of strat, as long as you know how to not lose a Kong in the matter, you should always give it an attempt. It's a high enough risk, low enough, or a high enough reward, low enough risk to where you should give it a shot. So that kind of leaves the window open right here for Empty. He's coming up on Vine Clip himself, taking the alternative method and nails it.
That setup is much, much more consistent, actually. I know
really?
Empty went for it.
I should go ahead and learn that one.
Yeah, that's actually what I'm considering doing for the next thing that I learn.
So it does look like, despite a little bit of problems there on a couple of bosses in the first 2 worlds, it does look like we still have a very, very competitive close race right here. Both players into Cudgel. Looks like neither player is electing to use the quick kill method. Oh, maybe not, actually.
Yeah, Empty likes the quick kill method, and this is one of the strats that mcill very dirtily skips. It only saves about 2 seconds at risk of losing about 15 max. So that's one of those very low reward, high risk things that you were alluding to earlier.
It's such an interesting shot, because otherwise this boss is obviously like a horribly boring part of the run. Probably the most boring, but just the creativity. Oh, and Empty losing a cycle right there. That's going to be roughly about 10 seconds lost for him.
Yeah, so that's the high risk that we were talking about.
High risk. Trying to save 2 for the entire fight, ends up losing 10 on 1 cycle. And it looks like he is bailing on it from here. And I feel like I've seen some runners do that throughout the tournament, where they go until they miss one, and then they just bail on it from there. Oh, not necessarily, though. Okay. Kind of maybe a little bit of a mix right here.
Yeah, maybe just second-guessed himself on the one immediately after and starting to go back for it.
mcill getting out at a 14-13.
Not bad at all.
Probably with 1 cycle left. Still not too far behind. That's unfortunate to miss a cycle, but nothing damning in the race right now.
Right, especially before Brambler, which is coming up in a couple stages.
Looking like right at about a 21-second lead for mcill going into World 4. That's less than 1 Brambler. So Now, I know right here, we talked about your World 4 earlier in the race. You think we're going to see either one of these players lose Squitter? We don't want to go chasing, do we?
I hope not. Oh, as I say that.
Oh my gosh!
All right, let's see if he knows it.
Is that... I guess that's on me. Well, this is now a
that's...
golden opportunity. He can make up literally this entire lead right now, I think.
Yeah, so if you don't go for Squitter at all, the scrolly scroll only saves about 3 seconds. But if you go for it and miss it, it's a lot of time lost.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to make up the entire time. We'll basically know once he reaches the top of this platform. So we got there about 15:28. We are in the scrolly scroll right now. Taking the damage, jumping up with Dixie, 15:28 compared to 15:34. He went from a 21-second deficit to only a 6-second deficit right afterwards. So, yeah, obviously a very big moment right there. Still, once again, lots of game to go. But you wonder if either one of these players, I don't know how well you know mcill, if either one of them would possibly be watching, doing any dirty screen watching right now.
I don't think mcill would be. I'm not sure about Empty. He might be. Let's see. He has his face cam on. Let's see if he reacts to us saying this.
Type 1 with your mouth if you can hear us right now. So here we are. I mean, right now, so what, for you and your tournament matches, I know everyone's got a different feeling. You're going through this level right now. Is your mindset completely on Brambler, or is it actually just kind of on the run as a whole, like how the run has been up to this point? Like when you lost Squitter today, was your mindset more there? What are you feeling right now when you're going through this obviously pretty slow level?
My mindset is mostly don't look at my computer screen, because if you look away, that's the easiest way to die.
Yep.
But other than that, I'm definitely more focused on Brambler than other stuff. Ooh, Empty going for kind of a clutch skip there, skipping the halfway barrel. That's one of the small amount of tech that you can do in this stage. Very cool that he actually got it.
Didn't know you could actually, I know you can skip the flitter right beforehand. I didn't know you could skip the checkpoint barrel itself.
Yeah, that's the other way to do it.
That cost Luke a lot last night against Christmas. Would have, as it turns out, would have won the race after dying to this one swag balloon right here.
Swag balloon.
Does look like, yeah. Looks like both players skipped the initial flitter at the checkpoint. Neither one of them skipped the second flitter right beforehand.
Swag
Minimal
balloon.
amount of time. Yeah, swag balloon, 2 for 2. Good job, boys.
No 10-minute penalty.
All right, Brambler. I want to see first try Brambler from both players. Like, this is a close enough race. We don't need Brambler screwing around with it.
Absolutely. So we're going to see, oh, mcill goes for the safety corner. Try and get this invisible object a little easier. And throws the bonus barrel.
As long as his IDs are good. All right. And right afterwards, here's Empty.
Also going for the corner.
Does not get it. Throws the beetle, releases just a little bit too early.
And he is not happy.
No, that is a frustrating moment for sure. For a lot of players, I noticed that, like, as hard as this trick is supposed to be, a lot of players nail it all the time, like first try even. But, I mean, you never know. It's a little bit maybe those tournament nerves kind of getting to you. I feel like I never miss it, and I missed it once in my match yesterday. He misses it again.
Not only does he miss it again, but he missed it in the exact same way. He threw way too early. That's very frustrating.
You bring that up. It's actually been surprising how many different ways people have failed this today.
There are just so many ways to fail it.
Mm-hmm. You would think it would pretty much always be from the clash, the hard part that he's dealing with, but there's been wrong IDs. I've seen flying birds everywhere. And he is able to get it third try. Let's see if his IDs are good. Oh, he's able to clear. I didn't know you could clear that guy.
Yeah, so you have to clear that guy while he's not throwing the hook, because when he throws the hook, he sticks his butt out. And his hitbox actually gets wider, so you have to wait for the hook to be back, but otherwise you can do it. It's not easy, but you can do it. And he actually knew it, which is impressive.
Yeah, that's... Again, I talked about it a lot during your race earlier with Blunt, but just a lot of being good at tournaments specifically is not simply having RTA attempts, but knowing those backups. I think everybody, before they really get deeper into this tournament, you need to go practice the second half of Slime Climb. You need to do a lot of segments with Dixie just to see what it looks like. So with that, it does look like mcill electing for the invincibility strats to go over the Eagle Pit.
I think is very reasonable.
You get 3 different variations on strats, ladies and gentlemen. There, you've got the invincibility, which is the safest strat right there. You've got the Christmas birds, which I know at least I elect for. Ooh, loses Diddy right there. That doesn't have to be that big of a time loss. Yep, there's a
DK barrel right here. I wonder if he goes for the Dixie mud hole. I can't remember.
It is simpler. I will say I finally learned it last night. Is taking this. The Dixie method maybe loses 4 or 5 seconds?
I think 4, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Well, it's consistent for him, and he can nurse the lead with that.
Well, I know that Empty goes for the Diddy method, so 4 seconds to gain there.
4 seconds there, and let's see what kind of bird hole strat he goes for right here. What kind of Eagle Pit he goes for.
Let's see if mcill gets this big boy while we're waiting for that. No, he doesn't.
Misses the big boy, going for the backup now. The backup is way harder. Okay, he's able to get it first try, though, so minimizing the time loss right there. Probably only lost, again, another maybe 4 seconds. Elects not to take the damage there, going, I guess, for nope. All right, just keeping the Kongs all together, playing very, very safe right now.
Yeah, just not wanting to die, I'm guessing. Meanwhile, Empty going for this wrong warp. Oh no! But drops the cannonball.
Got to go back a few platforms.
It's okay. It's okay.
That pretty much cancels out the time he could have saved from the Diddy method right there.
Exactly.
Let's see if he still goes for it. He is going for the Dixie method as well, looking for consistency here.
Again, reasonable. There's no reason to take the 15 to 20 second loss of doing the stage warpless.
He is able to clear the stage. I didn't notice because we were looking at the failed big boy on the kill stream. Did you notice what kind of Eagle Pit strat he went for right there?
I did not.
Well, either way, once again, he's another opportunity here. He can get the big boy right here. Relatively easy strat to hit. He is able to hit it, so that will save him a few seconds on mcill.
Does take the damage boost.
Does take the damage, yep. And does not get hit by sword dudes. A good deal there. Everybody's skipping that checkpoint right there. I have seen myself fall in a pit once with Ramby. Now, I am relatively new to the game, so that probably was just lack of knowledge. But to this day, I don't know where that came from. And I'm always nervous that that's going to cost someone an entire level.
Yeah, once you learn where to jump, it's not too bad. mcill, unfortunately, not getting 2-cycle. Might have actually skipped it, which might be the dirtiest strat skipping of all that I've ever seen from him.
Oh, can you actually, is it reasonable to go for 2-cycle?
I think so. It loses maybe a second, because there is an optimal setup where you can't really get it, but I go for it every time because it's awesome.
Dude, you got to.
I have a highlight of me getting it, and it was the best day of my life.
It was thought to be just a task strat for a while, wasn't it?
People got it in real time, but we weren't sure if it was, some combination of frame and pixel perfect. So we didn't really know a setup. We can talk about that some other time, though. There's Donkey being played.
There's Donkey being played. A little scary right here. As soon as you take one hit, again, it's off script at all. This B goes from just like a relatively simple manipulated boss to absolutely terrifying, I find. I see a lot of people, once they lose one Kong, they get real scared for the rest of these hits.
I'm one of those people for sure.
Oh, so yeah, a couple of missed hits there from Empty. All right, he's able to survive. He's going to be down a Diddy going into World 5. That's going to cost him a few seconds at the beginning in 5-1. Meanwhile, heading into, what's this called? Tupac something or other? Tupac's Hallway or something?
It's Haunted Hall.
It's Haunted Hall. We'll call it Haunted Hall.
Yeah.
Moving in himself into 5-2. Got a full level lead right now. Probably about a minute and 15 seconds. Really, it's looking to be a good lead. It'll be interesting to see how safe he is throughout the rest of the run. If he knows, he probably at this point, even though he doesn't know where Empty is, even if he's not screen watching, he knows I'm only plus, what is that, 30 seconds, if that, on his PB. He's got a 2-minute lead on PB alone. So do you see him playing things even a little safer here down the stretch? We've obviously got some very, very tough levels with some very safe strat potential. Quite a bit of safe strat potential, so it'll be interesting to see. Certainly Empty at this point needs him to slip up at least a few times or take it extremely safe. Empty electing to despawn the cloaker right there, finishing off the first level of World 5.
I think if there's anyone who is super used to just finishing runs no matter what, it's mcill. So I think this is just kind of business as usual for him. I don't think he's going to necessarily change any of his strats. I think he's going to do what he's comfortable with.
Do you know how hardcore he goes in with like PCP and Web Woods?
He goes for damage boosts in Web Woods. I don't know how many hits he takes in PCP though.
I was learning Web Woods for the first time the other night. Or last night. I actually found the damage boosts made sections easier. I mean, how do you feel about it?
They can make sections easier if you get them. I think it's a 6-frame window. Maybe it's less than that. Maybe it's just a 3-frame window, but it's not smaller than that. So if you're playing other speed games, there's a lot of frame perfect stuff. There's not a ton of frame perfect stuff in this game, so other people have come into the Donkey community from Yoshi's Island, for example, and found the damage boost very easy. I, who do not play many other speed games, think that the damage boosts are quite hard, just because I'm not used to reacting in that small a frame window.
Little moment right there, mcill showing he's not overly taking it safe. Elected to skip the checkpoint back there. I've seen some players recently beef it here on 5-1. So showing a little bit of confidence in himself and going for the team throw. Obviously, if that's a fall in a pit right there, very much letting Empty back into this race. Going the Diddy finish right here always looks amazing, not too difficult, and it will allow him to get the Kong swap right here, saving about 1 more second right there.
Right, the Kong swap is the main reason you want to do that, just because you want to start this Parachute Panic level as Dixie, because as Diddy, it just doesn't look nearly as cool.
No, it does not. All right, so here we are into PCP. Let's see what he goes. I'm assuming he maybe goes for the 3 damage method. Let's see what we got. No damage so far. Able to hover down. Got the jump right there. Didn't take an unnecessary hit. No checkpoint parry today. That's his first damage. Does look like a 3 damage method he's using.
Yeah, he's going to take a damage with Diddy after teaming up here. This is pretty easy. You just fall for 4 seconds and then start to hover again. Do this this buffer jump, and it's not too bad. As long as he gets the headbutt, he'll be in the clear.
Now, I've heard different people say different things about the headbutt. Is it purely position-based? There's no, like, weird sub-pixel crap to it?
As far as I'm aware, it's position-based.
All right, so definitely putting the pressure on there for Empty. Really gave him no room to catch up there. However, we are into Web Woods, which is very much, I would say for sure, the bigger run killer out of any level in this tournament. So, if he, with the decent lead he's got right now, if he can first try Web Woods with decent strats, he's going to be in very good position to take this match. Again, Absolutely. This is the DKC2 any % tournament, and this is the losers round. So the loser will go home. Winner will actually go on to face me. So I'm also doing some dirty research here myself while I'm commentating.
Finding out what strats you can skip.
Yeah. With Empty, I'm definitely going to have to take in a lot of knowledge right now, work on a lot of strats. Ooh, looks like he is going for a lot of damage boosts. One unintentional back there.
Yeah, so actually a good reason to learn the damage boost is just because sometimes you will take damage over a pit, and you'll need to know the frame window you can jump out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to know how to say. I know that happened to me a couple times.
Empty getting out of a crazy situation there.
Oh, I didn't
Stuck
see
in
it.
the bees. He was stuck in a lot of bees and managed to roll his way out of it with Diddy. It was very impressive.
Looks like mcill taking it just a little bit safe here at the end, making sure not gonna lose this run. And he has cleared the almost final pit. There is one more pit he needs to get over. He successfully does. He's out of Webwoods. mcill in very good position to take home the win today. All of World 6 to go, though, still, and World 7 for that matter. Let's see what Empty's able to do here. Again, very good recovery back there in PCP. Let's see how his Webwoods goes.
Yeah, I know he goes for a little more optimal strats. That's part of the reason, like I was talking about earlier, his late game not as strong as his early game. Because, honestly, the late game is just harder. Sometimes it's just that simple.
Yeah, I've heard different people have different opinions on like what the hardest part of the game is. I've heard like a combination of anything worlds 3 through 5 actually is like hardest parts of the run. But then I'm like, how are you leaving out the gauntlet? To me, stuff like optimal toxic tower, Screech's sprint, we've seen what chain link chamber can do to people. Like you can't count those levels out. So yeah, certainly it's a perilous speed game in many ways.
So actually, I have a fair bit of experience talking to people about this, and I've noticed a big mindset difference between people who have kind of mid-tier times, like your 44s, and people who have like 41s. And when you talk to people who have 40s and 41s, to them hardest means hardest to optimize. Empty taking kind of a punishing death there in Webwoods.
Yeah, that's frustrating. Was in the final major pit area. Probably knows once again his opponent knows how consistent he is, knows that he has a 2 minute PB lead on him, and knowing after failing because really up to that point it was just the Bramble wrong warp that is really being the difference in this race right now, unfortunately for him. So yeah, knowing he's probably got to go as fast as he can, pretty easy for Webwoods to kill a lead or just make a lead much bigger than it needs to be.
Yeah, but you were talking about that gauntlet that's still coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. We are here in a rather annoying level itself here in Arctic Abyss for mcill. If we talk about Radley's hitboxes, what do you think? Who's got the worst hitboxes? On guard or Radley?
For the longest time, I thought it was Radley, but now that I've tried to put in my 10,000 hours into this stage, I think it's on guard. We saw him just take a hit for what appeared to be no reason. We call that the
you can say what you want, but DKC 3 runners, they get to play with their ropes and their on guard, and
yes,
that
they do.
Man, I made the statement earlier today, he's coming up on a level right after this. If Castle Crush skip was not a thing, I guarantee you there'd be a lot more people who would prefer 3 to 2.
I guarantee you there would be a lot fewer speedrunners of this game.
Yeah. So, shout-outs to convenience for speedrunners' sake.
Absolutely.
But anyways, here we are. Ooh, unfortunately, Empty losing.
No.
Lost Diddy. And then couldn't quite make it up to the barrel in time.
Dixie's rope climbing is just so much worse than Diddy's that last part is Dixie's terrifying.
Yeah, that's very...
mcill almost
I didn't notice where he lost him.
mcill almost messing up the easiest skip in that level. You just have to hold up and left after jumping off that hook, and he turned back to the right for a bit. I was scared for a second there.
It is able to hold on. Yeah. Got the most important trick in that level. So able to get through. I would assume he's not going for Ghetto Beast here. Again, can sort of nurse this lead. Ghetto Beast saves about, what, 2 seconds?
2 seconds, yes. Ghetto Beast just means flying under these bees, only going up once instead of twice, as he's doing here. So that was not Ghetto Beast. He did skip it.
It is
quote-unquote lost those 2 seconds.
It's a 2-second reward. It's probably about a 11-second disadvantage because it's 1 second for losing Dixie or for losing Diddy, and then another 10 seconds for having to. You have to, as it's been said in other matches, go back to get another Kong from Arctic Abyss.
Yes, you do.
Again, the way Castle Crush works is you need this DK barrel to be empty. Obviously, if you're down a Kong, it will not be empty. So.
Wait, but I thought empty was the other runner.
Whoops. So empty
We actually
moving
call
his
this
way.
the companion barrel. The weighted companion barrel.
Is he? Has it been revealed? He is the one. Is he gonna get to win this in an alternative way? The scariest part about this is just while it is very, very simple, you're always waiting for like I don't know if you've ever dealt with a controller that just has like a bad Y button that will just release sometimes. I've had that on my current controller, so it hasn't happened to me yet, but I'm waiting for the day that I just chuck the barrel right at the end, right before I get up to where I need to use it.
I've actually had the other important button in this trick fritz out on me, the down button.
Ooh, that's alternatively just as bad. It does look like Empty finishing up Arctic Abyss right here. Really unfortunate. Oh, and gets the Dixie solo on top of it. Really was not that far behind. 2 full levels right now. Had a number of deaths between Webwoods and Crow 2. So really kind of unfortunate. You can really, I mean, it's really not that bad a play by him. He's still going to have a solid time here. Just mcill really not letting up. A very, very solid no reset run for him so far. That being said, just did lose Dixie right there.
Not this commentator's curse, man.
I'm sorry, I didn't. I should shut up. It was right when I said it. He lost. Probably his biggest mistake for sure so far has been losing Dixie or losing Squitter the Spider in Hornet Hole. So that's kind of really the only true opportunity he gave to Empty right there. Electing to take the checkpoint right there just in case he runs into a bee right here. Let's see who's going to be throwing his girlfriend. He does, in fact, falls down in the water. Now, I think once you fall into that water even a little bit, you cannot make it, or can you still make this full?
You have to jump over the final crunch up.
You do, okay.
Yeah,
does look like he wasn't quite sure. Yeah, so obviously wasn't quite sure if he could make it. It's nothing to risk at, really. You're losing maybe a second from bouncing off of the cruncha.
Yeah, nothing too
moving
bad.
up through Chain Chamber. This has infinited a few people, and actually had mcill himself had problems with it. Should have beat New Age Retro Hippie in his winner's match. Let's see if he gets it first try right here. Does not. Chainlink Chamber continuing to give him fits.
Ooh, and gets hit on top of it. That's just salt in the wound right there.
Yeah, it's not a big problem because you do get a Diddy barrel right here. But
yeah,
that frustrates him.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, still obviously a healthy lead right here. A full 2 stages ahead. Let's see if let's hope for him to get it second try. Does look like he gets it and he is out of there. I believe failed it 2 or 3 times in his race against Hippie. Would have had that race, otherwise would have had the big upset. So I'm sure that feels good to at least get it second try. Yeah, probably not much. He probably, I'm sure, is still frustrated right now.
It's actually a lot easier to get it second try, I think, just because you have the clean roll into the cannonball when you come out of the bonus. All you have to do is roll up the edge and keep rolling. And your IDs are very hard to mess up after you do that.
Yeah, it's pretty much impossible for that, for the enemy right there to come out of the barrel if you have a clean roll into it. So let's see what kind of strats he's going for here. Not going for any of the big Omegas or anything. Ooh, does fall down. He's falling down quite a bit.
Yeah, that's the scary part of this level. I believe his strats for this level are to short hop up the parts where you would otherwise have to charge and otherwise jump normally. Oh no, I lied!
Electing to try. Oh, because he didn't have those bees right there.
Yeah.
Maybe he wasn't sure if he could get that or not.
Oh, and the toxic. The toxic is coming up on him.
We never talk about the toxic because we think, oh, there's no way it's going to catch us at this point. But you saw it right there. If we were ever slow enough, that is a stage hazard.
Absolutely.
Moving into the squawk section right here. So a couple of mistakes to allow Empty to claw a little bit back into this. He's going to need even more help than that, though. Looks like mcill taking the safe route through the squawk section right here, electing to not take the damage boost. Let's see how many bees he's able to slip by. Oh, not one there. and takes the damage.
This part's really scary.
A death would be pretty costly. Figure he'll hang back here, make sure, yeah, taking out both bees there. Left the bottom one there. Let's see if he's able to get through. Yeah, taking out all 4 bees there is refusing to take a death right at the end of Toxic Tower. Let's see if he's able to get up in 3. This is the forehead. I think he had it without the web. I think there was a safety web he might have thrown out right there.
Yeah, I've been doing that lately in races myself.
Not a bad idea.
I'm curious to see if Empty is gonna... Okay, yeah, he opts out of the rolls because he fell into that pit that we were talking about earlier.
Able to clear it. You make up, once again, a little bit of time right here. Chainlink Chamber gets this first try. Obviously needs to nail everything and needs a costly death from mcill to give himself a shot. mcill coming in here, crouching down, rolling through the first cat enemy. Electing to use an old strat here, actually. I remember when this was the strat.
I love this strat. It's so fun to watch.
It looks like it would still be the faster strat. I guess it's just still from having to pick up.
Oh, no, Empty missing his first Chainlink Chamber attempt.
Unfortunate, neither player able to get it first try.
Yeah, probably nothing outside of a Purple Dixie death can save Empty now.
Yeah, it's a few minutes at this point, obviously, the deficit.
I'm finding some wood to knock on as I speak. Because obviously I don't want that to happen.
We have not seen it yet. The closest we've come was Darko in his match the other night. He died literally like 4 times on K. Rool. Mostly it seemed from screwing around because he had such a big lead. It got to the point, if he had died one more time, he would have actually lost the race. But yeah, it'd be pretty unprecedented. It'd be like if a football team lost when trying to kneel on the football. It'd be pretty crazy to lose.
If they literally kneeled on the football and it just slipped out from under them and it was ruled a fumble.
Yep. I mean, that's kind of what you're looking at for a K. Rool death right here from really a player of any skill level. The only things that really are going on in this K. Rool fight is that they're trying to cut down on the sucking animation on each of the 9 hits.
Exactly.
You figure at this point, like, even though he lost a little bit of time, mcill probably feels pretty confident in the win right now.
Probably. We're actually seeing a lot of the optimal jumps from Empty on his stream right now. Gets that Omega into that barrel.
Very nice very nice rattly section of Toxic Tower right now. Yeah, giving himself the opportunity there. It might have been a case, I don't know if you noticed, if like I necessarily noticed either. It looked like it was kind of disconnected mistakes. Do you feel like he was maybe on tilt a little bit after failing Bramble twice?
We can see his face cam because we're watching his stream, and he looked very upset. It's hard to say. I don't know much about him personality-wise, so I don't know how easily he can keep it together, but I feel that I probably would have been on tilt if I knew that I had a deficit to make up and I was making these huge mistakes. Like, you see him shooting to the left when he's supposed to be shooting to the right. That's the kind of stuff that adds up.
He is able to slip past the final bees. He will be getting out of Toxic Tower first try. Up in 3, and he's going to need a 4th. He's going to need a 5th.
The rarely seen up in 5.
Laughing a little bit there. I don't know if I've seen an up in 5 in this tournament yet. Probably knowing the current situation of the race.
Uh-oh, we have a Dixie alert.
Ooh, mcill. We have a Dixie alert, ladies and gentlemen. We're down Diddy. Oh, this would be...
Now there's the DK barrel immediately after this.
He can afford it right now. All right. He's going to take it. That is the 6th hit, so he will get back a DK barrel right here.
Shoutouts to Rare.
Yo, we have 2 for 2 on going for the damage boost strats through this area.
I like it.
It's a beautiful looking strat. I'm sad. It looks so dorky when we just slowly climb across all the ropes. You're just like, really? This is actually the optimal strat? There's no way. But turns out it is. Empty does lose his second Kong right there immediately on the race skip. So Needs to play a little bit safer here to make sure that he's not going to lose it.
Yeah, started flapping too early there, I think, actually, which is kind of strange.
Yeah, you wonder if maybe he had a weird release of the Y button. Electing to not take one of the shortcuts right there. Going pretty slow here, actually.
Yeah,
maybe he's a little bit scared.
I think if you're going to play this slowly, you should get the backup DK barrel near where the DK coin is.
Absolutely.
All right, looks like mcill very close to done. And does done with a time of 45:16, so GG's to him.
Very, very solid time by him there. So, yes, GG's to him. He will be moving on to face myself in the tournament. So
now that's going to be a race I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, should be fun. Two commentators taking each other on. With so many matches going on, we might have to commentate it ourselves. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's one I'm looking forward to. It definitely would be an upset by me if I was able to take him down. But let's see if he wants to jump in for a little bit of an interview, maybe.
It seems like he might be doing something else here.
Oh, what's going on his stream? Yo, is he a Space Station Silicon Valley runner, or does he just like this game casually?
I have no idea, but I'm eager to find out.
Let's find out right now.
Maybe you can answer that question for us, mcill?
Hey, dudes.
Hey, congrats on the race, man.
Oh, this isn't the right cheat code. Dang it! Alright.
I was wondering if you ran this, or this is just purely casual what you're showing us.
This is my main right here.
Oh, this is your main. All right, all right.
Yeah. So
this is a camel with a cannon on its back.
Don't judge.
I'm just making sure. It's N64 graphics. I have to make sure when I'm looking at it.
It could be anything.
Could be anything. So what I have to say about that race is screw K. Rule's Keep. I got trolled in every way in that run. In K. Rule's Keep.
Yeah, it was like you had built up quite a bit of a lead going into World 6, and we were kind of noticing all over the place, kind of a little bit of time being given back in a lot of places. But yeah, obviously the lead at that point was just a little bit too big. You guys were pretty darn close going into Bramble Scramble. I don't know. I'm assuming you weren't watching the match at all.
No, that actually kind of surprises me, though. I was on really good pace, and so I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, so we were talking in the beginning. MT's early game is actually very, very strong.
Oh,
One of the main reasons he got like an over a minute PB was because in his 47 he missed Slime Climb. So he's very good at his early game.
Okay.
And we thought that if it was going to pull apart, it would have been in the late game for sure.
Yeah. Well, my late game fell apart, so.
Yeah, your first 5 worlds were very, very strong outside of, with the exception of, I'm sorry, I said it, commentator's curse. Both of you today lost Squitter in your races.
Squitter? Oh, really?
Yeah. In a Hornet Hole.
Oh, jeez. Stupid Squitter. I shot the bee. I swear I shot the bee. I guess
was
I
there
shot
any...
it the wrong time.
It seemed like pretty much right away you decided you were going to go without him. Was there any bit of you that thought about maybe dying and trying to get him back, or were you just saying, I'm just going to go for it?
I think dying is way too slow, because then you have to, if you die, you have to go get a Kong again, then you have to re-grab Squitters and then keep going. At the point where I was at, we saw, I forget who it was in the last run today, we saw that person grab Squitters again from the bottom of the pit. I couldn't do that because the bee was still alive. So every time I grab Squitters, I'm just going to hit the bee again when I get shot at the cannon.
So I want to mention that MT has done with a time of 48:55, so GG's to him.
Oh, there we go.
GG's to him.
But yeah, I couldn't do that because the bee was there. So I just said, screw it, go through the level normally. And
how long had it been since you had done that level normally, or that section normally?
It's been a while. But I mean, it's, you just swap to Dixie and then fly, and it's similar to Scrolly Scroll.
Right. Yeah, I think definitely the right play by you right there. If you're at the level you're at with just comfortability with moving the Kongs, then yeah, that's probably the right play right there. That's definitely the right play. So,
I was on tournament PB pace as well until
World 6.
World 6.
Yeah. It was really outside of the scroll miss. I mean, your first 5 worlds were very, very strong. I believe you had a low 31 coming out of World 5.
Yes.
I could be wrong there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's, I mean, it's usually expected for me because I don't do anything dangerous. Probably noticed that, particularly the Cleaver fight.
Oh, sure. Yeah, notice not jumping off that. I mean, it's interesting to see which players consider which strats to be, risky for them, because that's ultimately what it is. So I don't think you can definitively say this is too risky, this is not risky. It's kind of up to the player themselves.
Well, why don't we get another perspective from Empty? Congrats.
Yeah, let's get him in here.
Hello.
Empty, GG, sir.
Thank you.
GG, Empty.
Good run. You guys, that was a very, very entertaining race. You guys were basically, so mcill unfortunately lost Squitter in Hornet Hole and could not do the scroll.
Oh, damn. I was so scared I would do that as well.
Oh, man. That's one of the more punishing things. You were able to cut the deficit. You were down 21 seconds going into Hornet Hole. You cut the deficit to 6 seconds at that point, going into Brambler. And then, unfortunately, what was going through your mind once you failed Brambler twice? mcill able to hit it first try.
I was like, all right. So the thing is, first off, I had a pretty bad start because I got screwed by Crow. But I thought, man, I'm like really doing fine actually. And then I actually thought I was in the lead. I didn't watch the stream. I don't know. I actually don't know. But I thought I was in the lead. And then as soon as I didn't get Brambler first try, I knew I would not be in the lead no more. And that's weird because I like never hit like Vine Clip or anything and all these tricks. But Brambler is always my jam, like first try and stuff. And then it goes like vice versa. Really cool. I don't know. It was a good race. It was fun.
It was a lot of fun to watch, no matter what the deficit was. You had a particularly scary moment. Still, you brought it up in PCP, where you should have died. You absolutely should have died. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, not really. What happened again? I had a fuck ton of scary moments.
You were using iframes as Diddy in the middle of a lot of bees, and you managed a very clutch roll out of there. Maybe you do that normally.
He's just like, whatever. I do it every day. It's whatever.
This is my speed game. These are my strats.
Oh, yeah. No, I messed up. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, actually, like, I messed up a lot of things, but like there was a lot of things that was like that were like really scary, man. Like all the stuff going on Crow 2, that creeped me out so much. as soon as I lost, I think I lost Diddy, or did I lose Dixie? Actually, I can't remember.
You lost Diddy.
Because then
I was so freaking scared because Dixie also like climbs so fucking slowly and stuff. And I kind of had a funny feeling I was going to hit that heck. And I did.
You just have this feeling as you're getting to the top of the screen, as you're getting to that last barrel, you're like,
but hey,
this has been too slow, hasn't it?
But hey, I did go for all the swag shit in the end.
You did. That was... Shout out to all the swag from the players.
The last time I had my race, I was like, I did also go for like risky stuff. But I failed most of it, and so I decided not to go for swag stuff as well, since I like already missed everything. And then in the end, I got like interviewed by like Canis and Jake, and they be like, "Why didn't you get swag balloon? Why didn't you get blue Diddy?" Cute. And then I felt guilty, and then I was like, "All right, good. I'm gonna do this now, whatever."
So unfortunately, while it is fun to do these interviews, we actually have a slate of 6 more races, this only being the second out of 8 matches of the day. Unfortunately, that was a loser's round match, so we do unfortunately have to say goodbye to, I'm going to try this one more time, emptysys. Did I say it right?
That's pretty good, yeah.
Empty.
It's basically just empty and sys as in system,
emptysys. Yeah, emptysys.
Yeah, you
Yes.
got it. You got it.
I don't know
girl.
why I couldn't say that earlier today, so I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Unfortunately, you're not going to be moving on. Any final thoughts from you about being in the tournament?
Was super fun.
Yeah, I keep defending DKC2. This is a fun tournament game with lots of upset potential, lots of just fun seeing who's going for what strats. I think there's a lot of customization people can have. And yeah, hopefully we have another one and you get to come back for it. It's unfair that you had to run into mcill in this round and I get to move on to the next one. So I'll be joining you soon. Don't worry. So,
All right.
Well, he had to run into mcill because he lost to yours truly, Teehee. We were fighting to see who would have to get knocked out by mcill, really.
oh, that's right.
I'm gonna win this next time.
Who are you going to get knocked out by then, Sylvite?
KBZ.
Oh. Take your pick,
Okay.
I guess, right?
So I have like 2 of my rivals in one channel and 1 Discord channel right now. This is great.
Yeah, fantastic.
All right. With that, I guess we'll go ahead and call the broadcast on this. Well, not the full broadcast, but this race right here. Again, mcill will be moving on to face myself, Spike Vegeta, in top 32, losers round 3. We actually got to schedule that pretty soon. And
Yeah.
I will be swapping out for another commentator. We have a host of commentators come in. I believe I will be replaced by Dustpan Heat.
No, he actually had another engagement, so you're actually going to be replaced by our very own mcill.
Hey.
Oh, hey, okay, well, that works out.
Yeah, perfect.
All right, well, I will leave you guys to it. Coming up next week, I guess I'll let you guys pimp out the next few matches that we got coming up. But signing off from me, I'll see you guys in the chat.
Thanks for your commentary, Spike.
Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna leave this as well. Thanks for the match, mcill. This was great.
Yeah.
This was fun, man.
It's fun.
Yeah, thanks for participating. It's good seeing your race.
Oh man, this feels good. All right, have fun, guys.
Bye.
Well, especially have fun if you keep playing this game the entire time that we're commentating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Went offline.
Too bad. I mean, you gotta be professional at some point, right?
At some point. Speaking of being professional, we are professional commentators Sylvite and
Gil.
we are commentating a race between Puexel and Nyaki.
Oh, is that who? I don't know. All I know is Dustpan's like I can't do it. So
Yes, professionalism indeed.
I'm just hopping in here on the fly. That's how we do, you know.
So it looks like these guys are still getting set up a bit. Yeah, we're just taking a second to transition all our stuff over. Me from commentating the last match, and mcill from racing over to commentating. So you're gonna be fresh off that race to be able to give those key insights.
Yeah, well, I
to
can
what it's like to be a tournament racer
I can relive my PTSD. I think
from winning.
from all that Castle Crush stuff. Goodness, not Castle Crush. K. Rool's Keep, whatever. I got hit 4 times in Arctic. Okay,
I saw it was
that's pretty tilting.
it was giving me PTSD actually. So do you know these runners at all?
I still don't remember what runners they are.
Puexel and Nyaki, come on, get yourself together.
Yeah, I've seen a bit of both of them at this point. I was watching Nyaki a little bit earlier today.
Yeah, he was racing.
Yeah.
So Nyaki, kind of an up-and-comer in the Spanish-speaking community, has a 46:39 PB, but a ton of time to save off that. You're very easily PB in this race, honestly. Kind of evenly matched here with Puexel, one of the more famous Dirty Strat skippers, maybe the original.
Good stuff.
Recently got a PB. Looks like he has a 45-47 nowadays. So I would call this absolutely anyone's race.
Yeah, there's no difference between these runners.
I'm very curious to actually watch the strat differences and how they play out.
Yeah, I mean, the way you make it sound, and also given the fact that Puexel has maybe been around for a little bit longer, maybe Puexel's probably will play it a little bit more safe. Whereas Nyaki you know, if he's an up and comer, he might be going for some more intense strats, a little bit more risk, a little bit more reward.
From what I've seen, Puexel has his strats, and he likes his strats, and he's going to do his strats. Nyaki, I'm honestly not sure. Like I said, he's an up-and-comer. He's learning stuff. Has the support of the whole Spanish-speaking community behind him, so I'm looking forward to see how he does. Oh, I thought that Puexel's PB numbers looked different. This is a fresh PB.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, this 45.
He's coming in hot then.
Yeah, within the last 24 hours.
Congratulations, Puexel.
It looks like they're getting ready to go very soon. Spying on this race channel here.
Hey, timer's counting down.
Oh goodness, RaceBot. Giving you 10 seconds to give your last wishes, and then you just gotta go. Alright, and they're off. Streams haven't caught up quite yet. We're gonna see what the delay is to make sure that you all are aware.